afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, the only sanctioned source of company to entertainment, your only trustworthy source of anything. Well, probably not. Anyways, we're off. It's an exciting, innovating, and amazing 1v1 on Crossroads in the North. It is Luvnest himself, yes, the one, the only Luvnest, fighting here for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. The glorious socialist cause, taking on the role here of the First Guards Mechanized Corps in the south. It is Expensive Runner, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 78th Sturmgrenadier Division, with Osttruppen Doctrine chosen triple infantry bulletins versus Guard Motor, Guard Rifle, and Armoured Assault Tactics with triple infantry as well there, featuring, well, Osttruppen, trenches, artillery field officers, supply drops, and the railway artillery support ability. Double Osttruppen start there for Expensive Runner. Double conscripts for Luvnest. And as always, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Press that bell button too if you haven't already done that. It helps me get those videos out to you and other people more easily. So, big thanks to you could do that. Also, big thanks to my Patreon supporters, without which this episode and so many others would not have been possible. So, big thanks to you. You're all part of my success. You too, of course, can join in that success by pledging on Patreon yourself or donating. Links in the description. Anyways, back to action here. We got Expensive Runner pushing hard west, even moving into the cemetery there with the hard work down the fuel also being short in the west. Meanwhile, Luvnest is hard focused in the east with a lot of sandbags here to help defend against any fascist assaults here from Expensive Runner. He's moving a bit about here in the centre, but he's quickly making the main effort, the primary thrust here of the 78th Sturmgrenadier in the west. We got units busy up north here. Triple conscripts there for Luvnest. Pioneers almost got the western munitions point as well. MG4 coming up there. Engineers opening up, slightly forcing retreat here for now. Also might call for word soon that they might get flanked here. Southeast, though, is where Luvnest continues to push ahead here for the Red Army. Sandbags being thrown down, points being secured for the glorious socialist cause. Anthems being sung of the United Socialist Sandbags Manufacturers, I'm sure. Like, they had anthems for a lot of things. Probably not. Anyways, 4th conscript all the way there for Luvnest. 4th conscript almost done. Osttruppen up near occupying a nice strong position for infantry. Generally buildings that are good for infantry, buildings with a lot of windows. So, for example, this building is great for infantry. This typically has a lot of windows and a lot of sight. In fact, this one is great for Osttruppen since there's 6 windows, meaning the entire Osttruppen squad can actually make full use of it. Meanwhile, a building like this, only 1 window on each side, is actually pretty terrible for infantry. It's more, machine gun building. So, little hit there. We got here Fast Tech, the full Expensive Runner. Some players like to go that. Expensive Runner clearly one of them. Basically 2 Osttruppen, MG4 2 Fast Panzer Grenadiers. Is a build we see with some players. In particular, I believe Jibba Jabba Jobber is fond of that one as well. Into then lots of Panzer Grenadiers and usually also a 250.5 to support his Panzer Grenadiers and other elements. We got 4 conscripts out there for Luvnest. First Panzer Grenadier squad almost done there for Expensive Runner, and the 78th Sturmgrenadiers constantly about here. Luvnest basically avoiding main zones of conflict where you can sort of just get bogged down in pointless wars, fights of attrition, rather looking to outmaneuver Expensive Runner. In this case, sort of try and play around. The Osttruppen, of course, are not great in wars for maneuver. So, go play the Luvnest, of course, that's where the Panzers come in, much more flexible, much more maneuverable, and obviously much more able to easily deal with more fluid conscripts, particularly in one-on-one engagements. So, both players here already engaged in a sharp war of wits, besides just their guns. East side here, we're going to push for the cup on there. Nice little effort here in this. Luvnest is sneaking about, cutting off his supply lines. Expensive Runner is making a hard push here at Luvnest supply lines himself. Panzer moving in, hit to clean up the rear lines here. We got comes from the far from the Panzer Grenadier. Might want to get them a bit closer here. But looks like he decides not to risk it here versus Luvnest. Perhaps worried about be hiding. Second, Panzer Grenadier squad away here for Expensive Runner. And the German army, we got 4 conscripts out there. We also got field infantry ready there for Luvnest. We also have Molotovs lying to flash out Expensive Runner's troops. No solid doctrine yet there though for Luvnest. Bit unclear what he wants to go unless, of course, unlike Expensive Runner who knew right away where he wanted to go. So second Panzer squad almost done there for Expensive Runner. It's going to give him, of course, 2 Panzer Grenadier squads. And that's going to be great here as the conscripts and the Panzer Grenadiers tend to do quite well against him, particularly in one-on-one engagements. The Panzer Grenadiers very much typically tend to own those, unless like something goes horribly wrong, which can happen, but typically doesn't. We do have the like to make a nice cut for Expensive Runner. It's going to come out of. Meanwhile, though, Luvnest here playing to the surge strength and basically just playing around. They're using his mobility and flexibility to just play around Expensive Runner's hard points here. Again, the most machine gun is and sort of his concentrations are, and basically just gaining most of the map in the process. So 2 thumbs up to Luvnest. Very good play here. Of course, he needs to try and isolate units, so still try and hit here and there, but so far he's mostly just sticking to like harassment strategies. rather than hit and run, which of course may soon happen as well here. But he's probably waiting for expensive runners to maybe get a bit more scattered here before it tries to sort of gang up on isolated units there from expensive runner. We got the engineers on the way there, more squads there, probably going to use those to take out all the others keeping the front line. Also might be planning minesweepers and flamethrowers. And usually don't want to leave your opponent like unable to like, you know, or able to just toss down mines unopposed without a minesweeper, so that might also be a reason of course to go for double engineers here just in case for Luvnest. But we got the support coming up here, coming up there, Punchers holding up the building, other squad nearby to support as well. Still a bit scattered here and expense runner basically disengages. He could try and fight it out, it seems. But I think he's realised while he could do it, it probably wouldn't do him quite a lot of good. There's simply too much of a concentration here. And he doesn't have enough force. Or he might be home to bait Luvnest into something. Looks like Luvnest took the bait. Or perhaps Luvnest trying to bait Expensive Runner into thinking that. There's a lot of potentially mind games going on. Both players are quite experienced, obviously. Both veterans, hardened people who've seen much conflict, much combat. In game, of course. 250 on half turn later for Expensive Runner. Perhaps it's going to be a regular one or a flame for a half tack. Both are possible, both are, I'd say, very good. M4 to get him to the conscript with a decent fuel point. Good work there by Luvnest. Bit of luck as well there. Punch against the conscripts. Osttruppen back up from the building. Go bun grenade. An old World War I tactic where basically just took a bunch of steel hand grenade warheads and just attached them around a steel hand grenade, forming up a larger bundle grenade. Was initially used, for example, just to help clear out trenches in World War I, and was also used as an early anti-tank weapon against the early tanks. It was even used in the early stages of World War II as an anti-tank weapon, since you could sort of land, like, say, in the engine block. It could typically, like, you know, blow it apart, some of the earlier tanks. Flamethrower after the rushing and seeing the Panzer squad there, close shave for Expensive Runner. Still Luvnest getting these some fuel point, and Expensive Runner's yet to get the western one back there, so there might be a bit of tight position. Of course, the Flamethrower attack should help here versus Luvnest, who's brought up this is 3-divisional field gun. Definitely anticipating some sort of vehicle play there from Expensive Runner. I mean, it's typical meta. And certainly versus the Flamethrower attack, he definitely wants to shot down that fast. That could do a lot of damage to the infantry. And he's yet to get out any vehicles, which is always the Flamethrower attack's major weakness. It's really weak to vehicles. Mount on there from Luvnest, very good. Thumbs up. Almost got the car pump and decides to back off. Or he might be home to bait it into the mine. We'll have to see if Expensive Runner takes the bait. So far, though, Expensive Runner is not taking Luvnest's bait. Man hit though in the west, going there, moving about, harassing. Good play there by Expensive Runner. Field on the right top on the Flamethrower. There you go, good punch there on the Flammenpanzerwagen. Continuing ahead here for Luvnest, grabbing that carve point back. West side there being cut off now. Luvnest could try and flank about, hit them in the side, or could try and move about, flank here Expensive Runner in the east. There's certainly few possibilities for Luvnest. But of course, Luvnest may be having a hard time to decide which of these two opportunities to go for. Or whether to go for that, or of course go for a third way. I mean, that's also possible. Oh, we got the tank in command up here for Luvnest. He can go for a T-70 right away as soon as it's done, more or less. That's going to, of course, be potent here versus Expensive Runner, who has no Pak-40s, though, of course, he does have a like to make a nice company, and he does go for the Pak-40. As he very wisely deduces, he's probably going, oh, cancels it. Interesting. I was about to say wisely deduces he's going to hit by T-70 likely, but there might be some other consideration there for Expensive Runner. Mine hit there, but the punches by Western Fuel Point. Meanwhile, Luvnest hitting points and cutting off resources. Good play there, thumbs up. Using here with flamethrowers, Conscript they've routed. We got the Osttruppen and the Panzer really hard at work, and we got a supply drop, so that's why he cancelled the Pak-40. Realised, hang on, I could just call this in, and you know, get myself a machine gun as well, plus fuel and munitions, and you know, cut out the middleman with the Pak-40 just being regularly called in. So good work there. 2 thumbs up for Luvnest, using the Conscript to merge for the flamethrower gears. Very good play there. Good use of the ability there. Panzers meanwhile need to fall back. I think they are being slowly worn out, and sadly doesn't have this as a regular half-tech, so he can't reinforce on the front line either. I think he's going to have to retreat soon. The Flamethrower, of course, doing quite a bit of good work here for Luvnest. Could try and merge them again, but now it might be a bit too risky. There you go. Luvnest just retreats. Still, Luvnest, really great map control. You can see there he's just denying Expensive Runner so many resources, just maneuvering about. Then he's very crucially again deciding which fights to fight and which not to bother with. That's a really crucial ability to the Surge. And certainly one of the sort of hallmarks of a good solo player. They're very good at determining when to fight and when just to, like, you know, run around harassing and sort of cutting off there. So again, 2 thumbs up to Luvnest. Decent light taking away there for him as well. And of course for Expensive Runner, it's going to be like trying to catch Luvnest, pin him down, and then sort of beat him silly, where you then amassed firepower. And of course that's always going to be the tricky part, and that's where things usually again comes down to also the great degree of understanding, skill, and so, you know, handling. Mine hit the machine gun only takes a minor casualty. Of course, worth noting, He has an MD-34 on top of the MD-42, so there's more ways of containing Luvnest infantry and catching them. That's going to be quite useful there for expense run, of course. As for Luvnest, of course, more mines galore. May want to choose a doctrine soon. He could, of course, go for Guard Motor, Guard Rifle, more immediate pressure with the Guardsmen, and maybe some other stuff. That could be great. Of course, could try and plan for the longer term here with Armoured Assault. Guard Motor, of course, is sort of the in-between. Has both Guards, but also T-35, so it's sort of, you know, more mid-focus, whereas Guard Rifle is the more aggressive one. But still has something a bit for the late game with the K1 tank. Also living bounded by the T-7 light tank. In the south here, Flamethrower Tech striking. Backing up, punching the Osttruppen, a great German assault here from Expensive Runner. Veterans 1, and just 1 kill on the other squad. Back here, grabbing the Western munitions again. After moving through the center, needs to catch that Flamethrower Tech. And of course, he's keeping the Panzers close to the Flamethrower Tech at all times, so that way he's got a more strong combined arms force, can hit for a lot of damage very fast. But also, in this case, the Panzer is obviously also benefit from being closer to it to get bonuses that make them much more efficient as well. So go play the Expensive Runner. Let's go runs into the fires there, but in this case, they do manage to post to avoid most of the damage. T-7 moving about here, he's trying to catch on there to Expensive Runner. Expensive, of course, also doing his best to keep clear of the T-70. Morton there from Luvnest, that's a really good move there. That probably indicates he's not going to go for Guard Motor after all. So either Guard Rifle or Armoured Assault. Of course, would say the longer it goes without it. Armoured Assault seems more likely, since that's one that has, you know, less benefit early on anyway. So the radius is quite handy. I mean, all three doctrines they have their strength and so on there. But turns from Guardsmen with the Osmo back could be hopeful. Plus, the Guardsmen with the DP light machine guns will also think be a very good pick versus the Panzergrenadiers, since the Panzergrenadiers don't have great long-range firepower, but if the Guardsmen can then beat them. So that would, I think, would be a strong consideration there for Luvnest to consider, in which case Guard Motor might still be the best bet. We'll have to see there. Mortar setting up here though for Luvnest, very good, very good. Panzers there being routed. We got 369 versus 461. Also something you may want to consider to try and sneak up behind Expensive Runner through here and sort of hit him hard from the rear. I think that could do a lot of damage there to Expensive Runner with the right units for the purpose. And there you go, Luvnest Mortar begin bombard here, looking for fascist targets to smash into oblivion. And we do get Armoured Assault here, again, nothing quite in the early game, not quite anything in the infantry department. Of course, T-35s, air support, IS-2, self-repair, and of course radio intercept. All strong ability, all strong abilities. It's very good there for Luvnest, better of course for Expensive Runner. But again, T-35s, radio intercept, self-repair. Assume we get attacks, sort of strafing run there, or loitering, I suppose. And of course the IS-2 heavy tank. There's a bit more to go before and call it in. Unit wipe there, small blow there to a Luvnest. And the Red Army got Flamethrower on the west side against the conscripts. Panzer there gaining eventually 8 kills. And there you go, good chance getting another wipe here in Luvnest in short succession. Quite harsh blows there to Luvnest. Good play by the Expensive Runner. And there you go, the T-70 blocks retreat path, allowing the Flamethrower and the Panzer to get a wipe there. Don't think Luvnest had anticipated that one. Quite unfortunate. Great though for Expensive Runner. That's just 2 units down the drain. That is pretty big there for Expensive Runner. That's a lot of manpower suddenly gone there. And a lot of manpower that has to be replaced, because 2 conscript squads is just not going to be enough here versus Expensive Runner. At the same time, we got Sapomacop here for Expensive Runner. Very good. Osman right now could be a very good choice. Panzer IV could also be a good choice. Stuger, of course, is always a classic choice, or at least the choice I like to make. But in this situation, it's probably a bit much. And I think an Osman right now would probably be better, or Panzer IV, and they can also just swap the Stugs. But, you know, if he were to go for the Stug, you know, I wouldn't say he was in the wrong. I would not say he was in the wrong. Ever. Anyways, Osttruppen here was the conscript on the T-70. We got 2 kills on it. Got to move back. They almost got the Flamethrower Tech actually. Small, close to win there, but sadly not enough to snuff out the self-propelled lighter that is the Flamethrower Tech. Conscript squad number 3 on the way there for Luvnest to replace the ones lost. Broken by the fascists. Contrast to the Panzergrenadier, 8 kills, eventually 2, very good. The element 11 kills, and ultimately 2. She's moving up. There you go, directly from the Pack 40. The Panzer Abwehr can only field sig. Mortar fire raining down here from Luvnest Mortar. Conscript out here for Luvnest. I mean, he could consider taking up soon, actually push out, I think, a reasonably fast T-35. In fact, I'm surprised he hasn't tried to push medium armor faster if anything. I mean, he's actually had really good map control and fuel advantage here. Versus Expensive Runners, I mean, the faster you can push out a T-35, the better here for Luvnest. So that, I think, should actually be right now probably his priority to just push for a fast T-35. I can push for like multiple fast T-34-76s and try to overwhelm Expensive Runner, who currently then only has one Pack 40, and like a pair of T-34-76s backed up by T-7 can actually do a lot of harm there, since Expensive Runner would not be able to match it for firepower right away. It particularly goes for the Panzer IV, so either way, that definitely should be a priority to take up. And there you go, we do finally get it here for Luvnest, a bit later there, and again, could add something up much sooner, to be honest. Bit of a slip up there by Luvnest, not critical perhaps, but nonetheless worth pointing out. He could have had medium armor, you know, pretty much sooner, and easily T-35, and even sooner could have had T-34-76 out, and it really put the Expensive Runner in a very bad place. Mines down here, they're very good by Luvnest. I mean, Luvnest still has a good lead in most things otherwise, but again, some missed opportunity there, some missed potential versus Expensive Runner in the German army. As the 78 Storm's going to do storm strikes, and there he goes. His 3 divisional field gun hits the flamethrower tech, almost gets it, but it gets away. Mortar continues to pump away there with mortar rounds. Eastern mission being seized there by Osttruppen took some rather heavy casualties due to a mine. Panzer IV there for Expensive Runner. Luvnest here can go for the T-35 right away, and he does so. Very good. That's going to really put pressure on the Panzer IV, which does not perform well versus the T-35. So good there for Luvnest. Now the Pack 4 there for Expensive Runner is obviously expecting some sort of armor, and again he knows his opponent has 2 doctrines with T-35 in them, and one of them has a K1. So either way, with just one Panzer IV in the overall situation there being much more favourable for Luvnest, getting a second Pack 4 to back up the Panzer IV against whatever Luvnest is going to hit him with is a really good read there by Expensive Runner on the situation. So 2 thumbs up there. Keeps moving about there, constantly keeps moving up, minesweepers and flamethrowers, very good. Expensive Runner though has not been mining a lot, if any at all. Definitely an oversight there, at least something that could be improved upon, probably is a better way to say it. But there you go, T-Swing strikes, flamethrower in a bit of a tight spot there, constantly moving in there. No anti-tank grenade rush there, probably because if he had done it, he would actually not have any use for the anti-tank grenade. No, he still wouldn't have it. Flare off there, allowing to bombard the Pack 40 with some good mortar fire, very good. Panzer IV setting out here for Expensive Runner and the 78 Storm Gunner to be short. Engineers being assailed by the Panzers and the MD-42. Panzer IV charging in a pretty ugly situation here for Luvnest in the centre. T-35 moving about here with its 85mm gun. We got Expensive Runner's Panzer moving up, trying to line of fire with the T-35. Good hit there by the T-35 on the Panzer IV, piercing its armour with ease. Pinball machine up with the Panzer IV, great there for Expensive Runner. Though obviously of no real consequence versus the T-35. Pack moving up, the infantry pursuing the T-35. Judgment about here, pinned down to the ground by MD-42, MD-34 fire. Panzer IV, Pack 4 there pursuing. We got a Panzer IV from the T-35 there. At the same time, T-Swing striking on the flank. Flamethrower to rushes forwards. Almost got it. Things are getting quite heated up in intensity on the left flank between Expensive Runner and Luvnest. Flamethrower take Panzer IV going forward. Field gun in a lot of trouble. Could be a loss here for him, and there you go, almost got it. Flamethrower moving ahead. Oh! Straight into mine, getting knocked out still. Costs him the field gun, which Luvnest, Expensive Runner can then turn against Luvnest. At the same time, he's also lost his Pack 40 elsewhere, it seems. That's great there for Expensive Runner. There you go, that's the Pack 40. Panzer closing down the conscripts there. Heavy losses on both sides, but I think the Expensive Runner came out of this one, though he's still losing a lot of ground very fast. We see there Luvnest is quickly sneaking about. They're doing a lot of damage behind the rear lines. Very good. Panzer IV opposite with the T-70. He obviously wants that pack down. T2 there, 8 kills. Panzer IV with 7 kills. Get a bit way closer one. There you go. Tries to sneak away, but there you go. Gets stuck. Oh, no, phases right through it. Panzer IV misses at point blank range. Pack 40 gets it, but I don't think that T-7's going to make it back home. And then here for Luvnest. Nice. Oh! Maybe it does, actually. Good lord. T-35 moving in there. Engages the Panzer IV. Good hit there. Panzer IV sneaks around the corner. T-7 does, not Panzer IV. He needs to spawn the T-35 there. Almost got the Panzer IV. Could we see a turnaround here for Luvnest? Can he get the Panzer IV with the T-35? That'd be great, but there you go. Double anti-tank on the T-35. T-35 misses and goes down abandoned. Oh dear, an opportunity for Luvnest has turned into a trap. Oh, disaster. Good lord. That was quick there. He was looking like he might be able to take up the Panzer, in which case it'd be a hit, but now he's actually down a tank, and Expensive Runner is not. Oh dear. That said, Luvnest still has the significant fuel advantage, of course, as part of Crossroads, and he's actually possibly going straight for the IS-2, which of course basically is going to upgrade the entire fighting significantly here. So I suppose that is one way of getting around this. He's going for another T-35, like he's not planning for it. No, he realizes he can't go for an IS-2 soon enough. So yeah, very intense fighting here. We got another awesome squad out here. 4 expense running up, more punts are going to deal it. Mines down here for Luvnest, very good. I mean, Luvnest is still exerting incredible map control. Despite some of these awkward engagements, he's still not allowing expense runs to really gain a foothold on the map that's very large. I mean, thumbs up, that's Luvnest, and certainly is one of Luvnest's sort of skills. He's very good at map control, very good at maneuvering, very good at harassment. But as we can see there, with some of the engagements, some bad calls were made, a bit of bad luck as well on top of that, of course, but still losing the T-35 like that was quite nasty. Though again, he's getting so much more fuel, man. He's getting 41 versus 17. That is more than twice as much fuel there. Of course, if he had the T-35 alongside the IS-2, he'd be in a really great position here versus expensive runner, but still, the IS-2 should be to some degree able to make up there for Luvnest's less than great circumstances now. More comfortable knowing meanwhile, very good. Back up to 14 squads. Mortar posing, hammering away there. Parts of advancement with this additional field and support here. Engineers to start the building. Consequence around there for the glorious Red Army. He's very, very close up to the IS-2. He has the resources. He's just a bit short there of the command point there. Osttruppen flak plans for expense runner. Not a bad idea. Though may fall a bit short here as the IS-2 heavy tank out there from Luvnest. And for the 14 kills, really striking fear and more importantly high explosive shells into the hearts of Luvnest's men. Black Panther halfway done. Unit wiped here. Looks like a field gun got cleared out there. You can of course recruit. It is in a reasonably safe position. Then again, with the IS-2 on the way there, Luvnest may of course be very, very incentivized to try and deny it here to expense runner. There we go. Good hit. Anti-tanker is going to follow up here. Could see the Panther fall down. There you go, damage engineer's going for the field gun, grabs it right under expense runner's nose. Anti-tanker flanking the IS-2, shoots, misses. Oh dear, Mama, have to be careful. We've got the pack 4 on the flank. We got Osttruppen with the Panzer Fast, IS-2 cleared out again. Good hit there from the IS-2 on the Panzer 4. Panzer Fast failed to penetrate or failed to hit. Hard to say there. Panzer 4, they're very close to Vetti-2. Panzer's going to take a nasty hit from the IS-2. T-7 moving up the flank. He needs to be careful, of course, not cleared out the pack 40 or say the arriving Ostwind. 100 points left for expense run. He's in a really bad spot in this department. Needs to fix that fast. In fact, Luvnest, I think, could just get away with just trying to focus on this victory point and just splitting out that way, in which case he could probably win the fight fast. T-7 down there. Another unfortunate call there for Luvnest. Stuck around with the T-7 for too long. Expensive runner was able to punish Luvnest for this critical lap in judgment. A gap in judgment. Lapse was the word I was looking for. Lapse. Blah. Anyways. Grabbing the center victory point with the Osttruppen. Expensive, of course, trying to deny Luvnest the ability to bleed him out too fast. Very sensible there. IS-2 being fixed up. Pin him out on Dishka, heavy machine gun being added. Panzer 1 dying to repairs. Some brutal fighting continuing here. And Luvnest, despite having a smaller force, rather consistently by now, is still managing good map control versus expensive run. Of course, expensive run is trying to punch harder and harder. And it's going to be a bit tough here for Luvnest. But still, again, with some of these losses, he keeps suffering, which again, do to some degree actually feel quite avoidable, which of course is rather unfortunate for Luvnest and of course also a bit unfortunate to see. Coming up against the Osttruppen, they won't be able to hold for long. Second pack 40 almost done there for expensive runner. And there you go, Panzer going to be moving in there, Bomb going to open the conscripts. Easy dodge, got the IS-2 there, move once more. Conscripts routed. And there you go, another pack 40 up, putting expensive runner back into the 3 anti-tank gun game. 1 stolen Sis 3 divisional field gun, of course 2 pack 40s. MU-34 continue to be quite helpful there for expensive runner as well. We'll have to see what it goes for next. Another T-45 could be a pretty great choice here for Luvnest versus all the infantry and armor corps back up his IS-2. You could also go for Katyusha rocket launcher. Could be great versus all the anti-tank guns and such. Blast them apart, particularly since expensive runners keeping them at least sort of bunched up with other stuff. So that could be an idea there for Luvnest as well. H-5 is also a possibility, but it may not be quite as useful necessary at the moment. Panther hits a mine, damage engine, eventually 2 they've gained. Great there, but need to retreat the control, they get annihilated. Damage engine in the Ostwind. Can Luvnest take advantage of this? The answer seems to be niet. As the R2 is far removed. We got an found here for Luvnest, he does commit to it. I feel like he should be focusing more on things that, you know, A, pressure the armor, at least deal with the anti-tankers. Right, there's 3 of those, and I feel like those might be a slightly bigger headache for Luvnest to deal with. IS-2, there was the Panzergrenadier, great hit there, 4 kills, Coh2 Veterans 1. Panther that gets a good hit on the IS-2 heavy tank. Luvnest, of course, not allowing this front against the state to, you know, go and panic moves in to try and get a shot on the Panther. Does get something of a hit, but nothing critical either. You got 74 versus 443. And Luvnest, issue 5 is almost on there. Goes to his system division field gun opening up on the mortar. Nice work there by Expensive Runner. There you go. 85 tanks right there for Luvnest. Eastern Victor 1 sees as well there. And we got a Strook 3D now for Expensive Runner. Bringing up the mighty Sturmgeschütz. I think that's a very good call to make here. Even though there's 3-pack 40s, they can quickly get cleared out with a bit of bad luck, a good maneuver, in which case they're going to be toast. Those Stukas are going to be a bit harder to clear out that way at least. Plus the Stukas are a bit able to keep pace and sort of overwhelm Soviet armor and knock it out faster. Come to the right and east, Ostwind suffers another damaged engine. We got 9 kills there. Issue farming up the eastern side. IS-2 there, good to go as well. There we go, good hit by the Issue 5 on the Ostwind. Two thumbs up there, almost took it out, but not quite. Eastern side seeing more rush from there from Expensive Runner's Pioneers. There you go, Stuk 3G ready for Expensive Runner. IS-2 rolling eastwards here. Backed up with some infantry on the flank, very good. Could try and sneak up and hit the points in, cut off Expensive Runner shooting once more. IS-2 shoots, hits some trash instead. Pioneers get away. Bit unfortunate there for Luvnest. Great for Expensive Runner, starting to get a more dominant position. Luvnest going with some of the losses, lost mobility. And now Expensive Runner's one with more initiative, meaning it's becoming harder here for Luvnest to play the way he wants to. And a bit easier for Expensive Runner to play the way he wants to. Ooh, good hit. They almost got the Panzer squad entirely. Close but no cigar there. Close but no cigar. H5 sneaks in another hit here and pushes back the Panzer IV. Still the anti-tank a significant issue there for Luvnest IS-2. 1 or 2, no problem, but with 3 of them, it starts to become an issue for the IS-2. There you go, cleared out 1. Great stuff there. Might get the field as well. There you go, both are down, though they can still recruit here again. Stuk also opening up the IS-2, make it hard for him to just stick around, destroy the anti-tank installation, but he's still going to make the effort here against Expensive Runner and the German army. Could also move the H5. There looks like he's focusing John in as well to try and destroy the Pack 40 maybe. Looks like the answer to that is actually no, or something went wrong. Oh, missed there. There goes Stuk against the H5. Quick exchange there of shots, and we got air support here from Luvnest on the center against Expensive positions. Of course, with the Ostwind about, there's a good chance the aircraft gets shot down fast if the Ostwind's not preoccupied with something else, which it currently is actually. Machine and crew, pack crew being slowly slaughtered here by the third aircraft. They're being annihilated by the Ostwind, need to retreat. Of course, he may then lose the aircraft and end up not getting as much out of the air support here. Control over getting up with the Ostwind, almost. Well, obviously, of course, there's some fence shooting them down. Even as an anti-aircraft tank, it's actually not very good at the whole anti-aircraft business compared to, say, Allied anti-aircraft vehicles and tanks. They are usually much, much faster, whereas the Ostwind tends to be very slow about it. As I assume they're being self-repaired, need to fix it up. Of course, it's also being sorted out. Still not anything further here from Luvnest. Will it be the Katyusha? Will it be armor? Will it be another tank destroyer? Luvnest has plenty of opportunities. There we go. We do get the Katyusha rocket launcher to help deal with the German support weapons. They need repairs as well. The Sturmgeschütz 3 AS-5G could also benefit from a machine gun, in my opinion. I know not everyone's a fan of it though, but I think it benefits from it nicely. Plus, it's really cheap. Mortar there hanging back. 5 kills, veteran to 1. Katyusha rocket launcher almost good. IS-2 still being repaired, heavily damaged. Panther down to half health. Issue 5, they're slowly approaching the G2. Very good there for Luvnest. The second guard's making a call. Second shot that misses the Panzer IV. Okay, choose your rocket launcher almost done. We got 71 missiles to 90. Expense runners managed to stop the bleed for now. Against Luvnest. There you go. BM-13 could choose rocket truck out. Note there were a variety of trucks being used, including American Studebaker trucks, but also a variety of rockets that actually lobbed. In fact, there were some that lobbed much bigger rockets, but they had much fewer of them, of course, available at the same time. But little fun fact there. Little fun fact. Field bombarding, looking to silence that mortar. Certainly indicating how much of an annoyance it actually is. Ooh, great shot there from the field gun. IS-2 moving out. Could choose rocket launcher also getting ready here. Where will he fire? Will he fire around here? And looks like that might be the answer. There you go. Rockets flying, screeching through the skies. The Stalin organ is playing a sonata. And there you go. Pack cleared out. Another Stug on the way. The folks Spencer runner. Very good there. Pack being pursued here. Field gun being held back. Luvnest is once more on the warpath here against Expense runner. There you go on the right flank. Ostman Stug pushing back here. The Socialist infantry. Fighting on the western point. We've got a punch squad here. Ace level as the conscript there. Also ace level. I want to get a Molotov off here, perhaps. They're holding up nicely in the heavy covers. The Panzer's in light cover. H5 being pushed back by Stug and Ostman. Fire close one here. IS-2 moving in there. Close of HC2. Conscripts actually beating the Panzer again to the heavy cover bonus. There you go, bun grenade. Expense runners had enough of this, but they dodge it. IS-2 HC5 in dodge repairs. And the Panzer are being beaten. Here we go. Oh, Stug Ostman going for it. Sensing an opportunity here, perhaps. They're not entirely wrong. Luvnest 71. We got Ostman there, eventually 2 Panzer warming up. Shoots, misses. H5 they may have to cancel his little repair there if they never planned it. So we got 2 Stugs and Ostman and Panzer IV versus IS-2 and H5 plus the Katyusha there from Luvnest. Good hit by the H5 on the Ostwind. Mortar firing down as well. Close run, but no cigar. There you go. Going for it again. IS-2 being fixed up. Also very close to 52. Panzer IV charging in here. H5 also been toughed out right at the wrong time there. As Spent from the goes for it, catching Luvnest off guard. He still managed to do it in time. Panzer IV is ace level. Could cost the Panzer IV here. Gets it. And abandon that. IS-2 taking down from the Stugs. H5 turned about. Stugs though knocking out the H-85. Ultimate calls wreck the Panzer IV wreckage. There we go. Did the IS-2 just blow one men apart there, by the way? No. Oh, we need to get the IS-2 away there from the double Stugs. They can quickly knock it out there with a bit of good luck. Expense run those. Clearly getting more bold here versus Luvnest, pushing harder, making more aggressive pushes. Now, of course, he has the double Stug. He has good reason to be confident. A marvel of technology and engine of destruction. Now, the H-5 there for Luvnest. I mean, with all these Stugs, I'm not sure this is the best choice. In fact, he might just bit off with more tanks to try and flank the Stugs with, or I don't know, even H-6s might be better, to be honest, there. Of course, what he may not be expecting, of course, is the triple Stug here from Expense Runner. Stug drilling. Definitely not something you see very often, though, but certainly can tear through armor very rapidly thanks to their good rate of fire and decent penetration. There you go. H-85, number 2 out there for Luvnest and the Red Army. Katyusha rocket launcher is almost good to go. We got 71 versus 344. Luvnest still enjoys a clear victory point lead, but the rest of the match is slightly sort of getting out of hand here for him. Though he actually has more infantry now than Spencer runners, so there might be something there to work with. Stugs are moving up here. Still no pin up machine gun. Ostman there, by the way, 21 kills, very good. IS-2 on the left flank here, eventually 2 gained, very good there for Luvnest. There you go, Stug number 3 out there for Expense Runner. Ostman moving in there, 21 kills. IS-2, they're spotting it. Stug's moving in there for the glory of Deutschland. Stug mit uns. As obviously the belt buckles should have been saying. Awesome squad about to get wiped out, counting airfire from the Ostman. If you had machine guns to the Stug, they could also definitely add in some punishment on the. Infantry there. IS-2 moving ahead, backed up the H-5. Of course, need to be careful. Of course, he isn't aware, I think, of the triple Stu, but he definitely will become aware of that eventually, in which point he might find himself in a bit of a tight position depending on how expensive runner handles it. Duke coming up there, decent hit there on the H5. Shooting hits there. Stu going for the H5 first, going for the one with high rate of fire, and also easier to kill that way, knocking out in the fight. IS-2 getting out maneuver, and there you go. H5 down. Sounding the Stu to active the IS-2 surrounded. 2 actually got easy shots at the rear of the IS-2. This is pretty bad here for Luvnest. And there you go. IS-2 armor suddenly means nothing if it's the rear arm, and there you go. Stuks just destroy it. Betty 2 gaining one, Stuk Betty 2 on the other, close to Betty 2. Final one is also very close to Betty 2. Katusha made it out there, but this was definitely not a great gauge there for Luvnest. Clearly underestimated the might of the Sturmgeschütz, and of course, expensive runner's tenacity. As he's suddenly found himself, of course, faced with 3 Stubs. And aggressive play to that. Going for Fielgun now. Fielgun's also a great counter to the Stuks, since the Stuks aren't great versus them. Even machine guns, they do struggle quite a bit. Stuk falling back here. Fielgun halfway done. Osman behind the engineers, almost got them. 34 kills, more punter going to there for expensive runner, very good. Comes for sitting out there. Punter squad halfway done, Miles down here, aggressive money there from Luvnest. I mean, he's still managing some good map control, but he's really in a bad spot now that he lost the IS-2. He's down to fall behind here, expensive runner more significantly. He got 65 versus 324. He still has a victory point lead, but that's about it left here. What will Luvnest go for next? Another H5. T-35. Will he try for another IS-2? I think another IS-2 here attempt right now would be rather suicidal. That Osman is really doing some heavy lifting here though for expensive runners, certainly proving its worth here. Bomb grenade goes off. Close to 53, then the ace level on that Osman flag punch. Which one's going to get a really good radio fire? Blitzing forward, going for the conscripts, doing heavy damage there. 36 kills. Being a bit cautious in case Luvnest got something hiding there in the fog of war. Still keeping nearby, and there you go. 40 kills on the Ostwind. $65 as 8. Osman moving in, they almost got the conscript squad. But they do get away. Got a hit from the field gun. Most of them being hammered by the Osman here. 42 kills. 43. Almost ace level there, but forced to fall back. So very close to the ace level there. Can't be held up here with the MG-34 on the right flank. Very close to the ace level itself. Getting flanked here by some of Luvnest's brave Frontovics. There you go, machine gun routed. Expensive runner very wisely calls it back. Osman moving to deal with that. And we got another Osman here for expensive runner. Double Osman, triple Stu is a formidable armored formation. That's going to give, I think, most Allied commanders a bit of grey hairs. There we go, ace Osman, much higher rate of fire now. That's going to be definitely a problem there for the infantry. Bomb grenade, there's a punch moving ahead there. Nice hit there. Dealing with the counter up close. And there we go, routed. Ace Osman almost good to go. We got 65 to 246. Luvnest seems to be saying up for the answer. He's not going for T-35, or he's just too focused on other things. Hard to say here. And there goes second Osman out. So that's triple Stu, double Osman. That's going to be a tough nut for Luvnest to crack at this point. Though if anyone could do it, it might just be Luvnest. But it's going to be really tough for him to do it. Make no mistake. But there you go. Expensive runner making a big push here. Stuks and Oswins. He's on the warpath. He's on the Rollbahn to victory. And goes second Osman moving in there. Luvnest forces being routed as the front collapses. And there you go. GG, game over. Win here for expensive runner. Lost for Luvnest. A brutal and interesting fight here on Crossroads winners from good play from both sides. And then I feel like Luvnest had a few slight mistakes, a few bad calls, but also just the delayed tech there and not getting meaty map as fast as possible. I think was a significant issue. They basically failed to then capitalize on his otherwise great map control here for his expense runner. And I think that proved to be crucial there for expense runner. Give him just enough time to turn things around and stabilize, and maybe that way win. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on, and tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Danes saying cheers. Thank you for watching, and of course remember, Stug mit uns. Cheers everyone.